Hello and welcome to the Calisthenics YouTube channel. Today we will look at a new case study. In today's case study, we will look at Marcus' progress over the last 2.5 years. While in the other case studies we focused more on one skill at a time, today's case study will be a tiny bit more general, seeing how to train an athlete in the long run when weight, goals, and circumstances change over time, and how to combine and maintain certain skills over that period of time when goals shift. First of all, we will get to know Marcus. Marcus had already been training calisthenics for 7 years, systematically with a coach for 4 years before starting with us. His body weight when he started the coaching was at around 70 kg at 172 centimeters height. He had already a very decent front lever of 13 seconds, a bad form tuck planche of 5 seconds, a 40 kg pull-up, and a banana handstand. One quite awful one-arm pull-up, just on one side, a 100 kg deadlift, and a 70 kg squat, as well as a 55 kg military press, and a 90 kg bench press. In the beginning, his goals were, first of all, improving his front lever, reaching the straddle planche, learning free standing handstand push-ups, learning the full front lever pull-up, as well as getting stronger in every aspect of street lifting, and maybe reaching the Victorian on the rings one day. Marcus had been training for quite a while already, and he knew that if he entered the coaching, he would be in for the long run. He knew that his goals would take a while to achieve. Knowing this, it allowed us to think already in long-term programming, which is a huge advantage. This allowed us a few things. First of all, to really focus purely on technique for the first few months, without even thinking about pushing skills or weights hard, since the athlete had quite some issues to fix. Focusing on rehab work, since the athlete had problems with his wrists, elbows, shoulders, as well as with his triceps. And to keep certain skills on the back burner, just working them very technically for a few sets per week, knowing that if the athlete got stronger, he would reach these goals in the long run, just by transferred or by just doing a few very technical sets per week. We will give a closer look to this approach when we will look at his front lever pull-up later in the video. After 3 months of extremely high buffered work and fixing some of the issues he had, we started pushing a tiny bit more. We closed the gap from the tuck planche to the advanced tuck planche. His front lever improved only by working on the half-lay front lever, improving proprioception and hip positioning. In front lever pull-ups, we went from the advanced tuck front lever pull-up to the one-leg advanced tuck front lever pull-ups by just training them 4 sets per week with simple singles. We changed some technical details in his pull-up, dips, and squats as well. We started pushing progressions and weights a tiny bit more aggressively, and after 2 months, we went back to lighter work again, improving the technique on the new acquired progressions. A lot of mobility work was done by the athlete to improve his handstands, and he started to hold them consistently, working on negative handstand push-ups, as well as weighted pike push-ups and the military press. Depending on the macro cycle, Marcus gained more and more strength in his shoulders and improved proprioception for his handstand push-up. In planche, we started working with one-leg straddle variations with the loop band, as well as integrating a lot of hip work and shoulder blade proprioception work. The front lever holds got more and more solid, reaching 17 seconds in tests, making it useless to push further. Therefore, we put the front lever on maintenance, just training it for 4 sets per week with some very buffered holds, and instead started working on the P-bar Victorian, introducing it with advanced tuck holds. In the meantime, we always kept his front lever pull-up work, now in the half lay, still with 4 sets per week. Seeing his improvements in advanced skills like the Victorian, where he switched extremely quickly to the one-leg advanced variation, Marcus decided to put his leg work on hold. It's fair to say that his adherence for the leg work wasn't the biggest to begin with though. Everything went along nicely. We moved on to further progressions in the Victorian, quickly being able to switch from the one-leg versions to a full version of this exercise, since the athlete had extremely favorable levers for it. Marcus' biggest struggle stayed the planche, having to put a lot of work in both scapula and hip activations, using bands to understand how to push the hips down, and using easier progressions to really understand protraction. But having built up extremely strong delts with all the shoulder work we did, we still had a very good base to move to the straddle version of this exercise. Since the focus on pull work went completely to improve front lever pull-ups and Victorian, we chose to ditch the pull-ups and work on progressions of the bend over row, since the athlete had always felt a tiny bit of discomfort in pull-ups. Weight wasn't a big focus point for the athlete at this point. Like with most skill athletes that have a good muscular basis and a good healthy body fat percentage, maintaining the weight is what works best for most. Changes in diet and weight should only be made when needed, since they add a further stressor. At this point in time, Marcus decided to take part in the Intelligent Strength Diploma education in Vienna. Besides learning everything you need to know to be a coach, this education requires you to complete a bodybuilding diet and to reach a total of 6 times body weight added weight in following lifts: pull-up, deadlift, squat, military press, and bench. Given the circumstances, we started adding some squat and deadlift work to Marcus' plan, as well as some bench work. We slightly diminished the work and skills and maintained shoulder, so handstand push-up and military work, as well as Victorian work the same. We started the diet and brought in some bodybuilding work to maintain as much muscle as possible, bringing Marcus, who had reached about 75 kgs at this point, down to 70 kgs again, to complete the first part of this education. The drop in weight was actually a very good advantage for Marcus. It allowed him to reach the full planche, even though he wasn't doing very much work for it at the moment, as well as an extremely solid P-bar Victorian of 5 seconds and managing his first full paused front lever pull-ups. Finally becoming consistent in his handstand and handstand push-up work. With the shoulder strength this athlete has, deep handstand push-ups and 90-degree handstand push-ups became part of Marcus's training plan automatically. This, for example, was a clear case of missing balance, not strength in the handstand push-up work. After testing the lifts, Marcus got these results: 60 kg pull-up without any direct work. All the pull work was done on the bar. 200 kg deadlift with little direct work in 3 months. The athlete had an extremely strong back to begin with and got most of the strength out of there. 120 kg bench press, little direct work just for 3 months. A 150 kg squats, as well as a 75 kg military press, which was 105% of his body weight at the time of testing. We switched the focus back to his previous goals, working on the Victorian on rings, improving the full planche, getting more reps in front lever pull-ups, and just becoming a bigger, better version of himself. This brings us to who Marcus is today. Marcus can hold a perfect form front lever for 21 seconds. He has a decent form full planche of 5 seconds. We gotta say there's a lot of work to do on the scapula still, but it's getting better week by week. A 60 kg pull-up, a 50 seconds handstand with almost perfect alignment, 1 arm pull-up on each arm without ever really training it directly, 6 freestanding handstand push-ups, 90-degree handstand push-ups, deep handstand push-ups, as well as weighted deep handstand push-ups. a 200 kg deadlift, a 150 kg squat, a 120 kg bench press, as well as a 75 kg military press, and a 5 seconds Victorian on parallel bars, and is currently working on getting it on the rings. As you can see, there was no magic here, no secret exercises. Everything we did with a plan, with an idea behind it, to get the athlete where he is today. If you are interested in getting coached by us, you will find the links down in the description. You can check out our new website there, some clients, results where you will find Marcus too, and apply to our coaching. If you liked the video, leave us a like. If you enjoy our content, subscribe, and see you next time.